Principles of Environmental Health program for the summer term 1. I am talking about Parkinson's disease, primarily in the Medford